Welcome to the MeltDown. We're talking the business of sports with host Vince Thompson, the president, founder, and CEO of Melt, one of the leading sports marketing companies in the country.
Welcome back to the MeltDown. Hope you guys are doing really well. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. We got a lot of great presents to unwrap today in this week's MeltDown. I'm Vince Thompson, founder, chairman, and CEO of Melt. Follow me at Vinny Inc., Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or hit me up on LinkedIn or follow our channel on YouTube. Let's unwrap this pre-holiday packaging of great holiday Christmas presents courtesy of the crazy world of college football. What in the heck is going on here? Jim Harbaugh, Kevin Warren, Big Ten, no Ohio State, Michigan game, the game. We've got a lot of flexibility here, guys. We've got a lot of time. Look at the domino effect. What kind of clown show is going on here? What kind of clown show is going on with Harbaugh's contract renewal and other pro teams that want to hire the guy? NFL and college football are the only two businesses where you can fail up very richly. I promise you, I wish I could find one of those gigs. Unfortunately, I think my time is up on that. Cancellation will cost in the millions, not to mention just the hard cash, but the exposure, the eyeballs, the recruiting. Will the Big Ten modify their rules? No doubt Ohio State is probably a top 4 team. No doubt about that. Justin Fields, the crew, going to be fascinating to see them play against probably Clemson and Notre Dame and Alabama. But let's try to make things as much of all equal as possible. Had Kevin Warren followed suit with Greg Sankey, more than likely they wouldn't be in this situation. But he didn't, and hopefully he learned his lesson. Obviously, this is not perfect what Sankey and the SEC has done, but he gets my vote as the sports executive and commissioner of the year. But some of the law of unintended consequences, what a game, Coastal Carolina and BYU. So much fun, so entertaining. I know the reason they schedule these things a decade out. But again, hopefully going forward, some flexibility in scheduling as well, because it's really been fun to watch. It's been odd, it's been fun, and the numbers have been very healthy. But craziness in the world of college football. You're actually going to have regular season games going on the same day you're going to have conference championship games. So we're going to see how all that works out. Updated bowl projections, obviously the Rose and the Sugar, no fans. That's going to be crazy as well. Possibly Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, Notre Dame. Entertaining games. My vote is a rematch of Alabama and Clemson with Alabama taking it all and Mac Jones winning the Heisman. Devontae Smith, I mean, what a work of art, what beauty to see those guys work together. And the CFP title game, the projection, Alabama, Ohio State, I'm going against the grain here. The Crimson Tide prevailing over Dabo and the Clemson Tigers. And will it be Trevor's swan song? But it certainly will be entertaining with the other bowls. A lot of bowls checking out. I think the total number's up to 11 or 12 right now. They've got the titles locked in, some of the titles locked in, but the local sponsorships and the host committees and the club seats and the volunteer bases and all of those ancillary activities and all those financially can't support it. Will some survive? Don't know. Should some survive? Probably not. But we'll take a look at that. I mean, arguably north of 40 bowls was just absolutely too much, but we do need to preserve the Bahamas Bowl because that was always a lot of fun. Where we are with NIL, where we are is this gigantic freight train heading down the track. The Knight Commission says basically abolish the NCAA. The NCAA says, Mark Emmett says this week, no, not too quick here. What's going to go on Capitol Hill with Biden in the presidency? Who's going to control the Senate? Coach Tommy Tuberville, who probably knows more about it than anybody, coming in with the Senate in Alabama, will have some input. California has introduced new legislation to accelerate the acceptance and take rate of this. Start August 1, 2021. Florida would start July 1st, 2021. So many other states have codified it. Many more are moving to codify it. So we expect some federal legislation coming up soon, and expect it to be massively in favor of the student athletes. And speaking of, a great example and a great case study of the power of this, whether you consider the Sarah Fuller kicker stunt at Vandy a PR stunt or legitimate is irrelevant. I thought it was great myself. I think it was fantastic. I think it was a great move forward. But I want you to examine the impacts just on her social media following and how it can maybe impact tens and hundreds of thousands of other non-revenue student athletes. Because don't forget this. She's playing on a non-revenue, quote-unquote, team at Vanderbilt, women's soccer team. A lot of these teams are under pressure because of their budget cuts and the revenue squeeze and the finances and COVID and all those things that are going on. But if you looked at Sarah Fuller, and I was able to maybe take 100,000 Sarah Fullers and take them into companies who right now are not spending money in college athletics but would want to, this would be a perfect example. And I'm sure this number is far greater. In the last 2 weeks, her social media following has skyrocketed on Instagram and Twitter. But think of the empowerment. Think of the symbolism. Think of the encouragement. Think of the aspiration for so many little girls out there who are aspiring to be student athletes and college student athletes, and empowerment and where they go later on in life and how the student athletes are the greatest ones to hire. I'm so bullish on what this can mean. I think it can actually save Olympic and non-revenue sports in college athletics, and a lot of people agree with me. Some don't, but we're going to continue to test those walls and divides. But really just a tremendous story and a very tremendous testament of everything that's right about college athletics and everything that is right about name, image, and likeness and students' abilities to get paid. And speaking of one of my favorites, we've had him on our podcast. We've talked about him on the Meltdown. I floated him as a finalist for the candidacy of the ACC. I think it was a serious one, but my dear friend Burke Magnus really continues to climb at ESPN. One of the nice guys in our business. Calls you back, responds to your emails. Doesn't. Just a few weeks ago, he was on our podcast. Really, truly one of the big guys, and a big winner in this continuing to reshape and reshake Disney, ABC, ESPN, the world of college rights fees, cord cutters, the Disney Plus on fire, ESPN Plus on fire. I'm hearing on the Vine, you heard it here first, and we'll break it, that there is an imminent announcement of a new deal between Disney, ABC, and ESPN and the SEC. And the number's probably going to be 6 or 7 times higher than the annual rate that CBS was paying right now, believed to be around $50 to $53 million. I didn't hear that from Burke, by the way, but Burke Magnus is in the middle of all of this, and I'm really proud of my friend and look forward to some tremendous leadership in the worldwide leader. So kudos to Burke. And as we depart today, a special send-off to another one of the greats and icons and good guys in the business, Georgia Athletic Director Greg McGarity. Himself a student athlete, played tennis at Georgia, tutored under Jeremy Foley at Florida for 17 or 18 years, came back home, mama called, and a lot of times he'd take a heat of kind of being a penny pincher or a miser, but man, he looks like a genius today. They're sitting on all that dry powder over there, the facility improvement. They run a great program, bringing Kirby Smart in. Jury's still out on that one, but he's moving to Jacksonville to be near his son, and I would be shocked if you don't see his name resurface as maybe running the Gator Bowl or something that really be a nice way to run himself off into the sunset. But truly one of the great guys, was featured on one of our Melt University podcasts, and so don't expect him to go away really soon, but his imprint and imprimatur on student athletes, college athletics, the SEC, the University of Georgia, is unmistakable. So, Greg, proud to call you friend and professional colleague, and enjoy yourself a well-deserved rest. So the book's out. It's all over the country. Bill brand new. If you haven't ordered it or received your copy, go to Amazon.com right now. You're going to need it in these crazy, trying times of navigating the job entry world in post-COVID. Bill brand new at Amazon.com. I'm Vince Thompson, founder, chairman, CEO, Melt. And that's it for this week's Meltdown.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MeltATL. And follow Vince at Vinny Inc. and on LinkedIn as Vince Thompson.